Days of Our Lives, spoilers for the next 2 weeks, July 28th to August 8th, reveal that Chad DiMera and Kat Green will get trapped together. Marlena Evans may also suspect Rachel Black before Sami Brady returns to Salem, so here's what Duel fans can expect. At Johnny DiMera's trial during the week of July 28th to August 1st, E.J. DiMera will fight hard to convince the jury that his son is innocent. That'll inevitably mean playing a bit dirty against Belle Black. Despite the uncertainty that's hanging over Johnny and Chanel Dupree DiMera right now, they'll cling to each other for support and keep hope alive for their future. Over with Stephanie Johnson. Days spoilers say she'll have another freakout that leaves Alex Kyriakis concerned. Stephanie vetoed the excerpt that Alex wanted to highlight for their media push, and even insisted she wanted to erase it from the book entirely. Alex agreed, but the plan may go wrong if the book gets published without Stephanie's edit. Since Stephanie hinted about some parts of the book being based on personal experience, the part she's panicking over may involve her former relationship with Philip Kyriakis. After Gabby Hernandez hires Steve Johnson to investigate the Titan side of Titan DiMera, it'll create some complications in his relationship with Stephanie since Alex works there. Meanwhile, Days spoilers say Susan Banks will play up her ability to speak with those who have passed on. EJ and Chad will be skeptical, but Susan will stand by her special power and most likely reveal that she doesn't believe Stefano DiMera has departed this earthly plane. As for Marlena, she'll ponder the meaning of her Queen of the Night dream and the trouble that Susan sensed within her. Marlena will also quiz Rachel about something and may start to believe she's found EJ's shooter culprit. Rachel doesn't seem to remember pulling the trigger, but Marlena may determine that it was likely so traumatic that she buried the memory. Next, Sarah Horton Kyriakis will back Sophia Choi into a corner. Sophia's medical chart shows that she was having a boy, so Sarah will wonder why she's telling everyone she had a baby girl. There may not be much Sophia can do other than keep lying and act like the baby gender on her chart was a mistake. Sophia may argue that the little girl in the adoptive parent's arms is proof that she had a female baby instead. Even so, Sophia will definitely get nervous over this discrepancy since she really did have a baby boy who's being cared for by the Hernandez household. Across town, Kat and Chad will find themselves stuck with no way out. There'll be some situation that leaves Chad and Kat trapped, so they'll no doubt struggle with some flying sparks. While Xander Kyriakis is spending time with Gwen von Leuschner, they'll stumble upon Brady Black holding Sarah in a comforting moment. That'll rile Xander up, but things may get even worse during the week of August 4-8. It looks like that may be when Gabby manipulates Xander over dinner at the bistro and plants a kiss on him there. Sarah will witness that lip lock and plant one on Brady as well, so Xander will be livid enough to get physical with Brady. It'll be more evidence that Xander desperately needs the anger management counseling that Sarah's pushing him into. At some point, Belle will have a hunch that Marlena knows who actually shot EJ. Marlena may suspect Rachel by then, but that doesn't mean she'll be willing to spill to Belle about her theory. On August 5th, Sami will return to Salem and give Marlena some comfort over John Black's passing. Marlena will appreciate having Sami back since she's still struggling to cope deep down. Since Kat previously recognized a picture of Sami, they may cross paths briefly. Kat can't recall how she knows Sami, but Days may offer some news on how they met sooner or later. Days of Our Lives spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring plenty of Salem excitement, so stay tuned for updates on all the drama. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of July 28th suggest some twists. Expect Susan Banks' new power to be doubted. Sarah Horton Kyriakis questions Sophia Choi. Plus, Julie Williams gloats about her victory. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with Sophia, who came up with a cover story with Melinda Trask. Tate Black is devastated that Sophia already gave their baby away. Tate wanted to hold the baby and say goodbye first. When Brady Black informed Sarah about what happened with the baby, she was instantly suspicious. Expect Sarah to look into Sophia's medical file. In that file, it is clearly stated that Sophia is expecting a boy, not a girl. The doctor will confront Sophia about the gender lie. The young lady is already having a tough time keeping up appearances, so she will likely confess the truth to Sarah, but ask her to keep quiet. That's going to be hard, especially if Sarah and Brady start a romance. Over with Susan, she has returned to help Johnny DiMera. Susan seemingly got a premonition, then went to blast Gabby Hernandez in front of Gwen Rizchek von Leuschner. Later, Johnny and others will doubt Susan's newfound power. Days of Our Lives, spoilers for next week, reveal that Julie got the necklace back from Doug Williams III. Doug stole it from Gwen, but explained that Julie is the rightful owner. Julie agreed that they could keep it a secret that he got the necklace back. What happens after Julie gloats to Gwen, though? It would be just like Gwen to insist that the police arrest Julie. Fans will also watch as Tony DiMera tries to regain control of the company. E.J. Dean DiMera and Belle Black are pitted against each other in court. Chad DiMera and Kat Green get in a sticky situation. Plus, Marlena Evans has some questions for Rachel Black. Gabby turns to Steve Johnson for help. Alex Kyriakis tries to do damage control with Stephanie Johnson. Plus, Holly Jonas and Maggie Horton Kyriakis bond. Over with Xander Cook Kyriakis, he dines with Gwen. Meanwhile, Sarah and Brady get even closer. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of July 28, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Carson Boatman on Peacock's Days of Our Lives found some praise from co-star Emily O'Brien on Friday, and it wasn't for his acting. Read on to find out more about what happened. Acting in soaps is very hard work. General Hospital star Maurice Benard and others like Nancy Lee Grahn have talked about grueling shoots that go on for hours. So, downtime is precious. Well, Carson and Emily both had a short break from filming recently, and he seemed to have made her day feel better than usual. The news arrived on Carson's Instagram when he posted a reel on Friday this week. In it, he sat playing and singing a cover song on his guitar while he waited in his dressing room. He'd chosen Riley Green's 2024 track, Worst Way. Feeling a bit self-conscious, and he hoped that he hadn't disturbed the others in the area. In his caption, the real-life Johnny DiMera wrote, "Can't get this one out of my head. Had a little extra time in my dressing room today. Sorry to all of my @Days Peacock castmates if I was coming through your walls." Well, it was reaching beyond the walls, but he didn't upset Emily O'Brien, who loved it. Instead of being irritated, Carson Boatman found a nice reply from Emily. The Dual star wrote in the comments section, "I'm next door and was loving it, keep them coming." That seemed very sweet, but honestly, Carson's not hard to listen to as he's so talented. One fan seemed disappointed that the Peacock show doesn't use Carson's talent more. They asked, when is Days going to capitalize on all the talent they have on the show? The hospital fundraiser would have been a great time for a talent show. However, another fan noted that the show does have music on the show. Of course, Carson Boatman gets to showcase his musical talent on the show, though not all the time, because there are other storylines in the daytime drama. Last year, he performed a song on Days of Our Lives that was written by Brent D. Nelson. Remember, it came when Johnny DiMera serenaded his wife, Chanel Dupree, with a song called On Top of the World. Still, it would be nice to see him perform a bit more often, as he's very talented. And as you can see, his cast members appreciate his singing. What are your thoughts? Are you happy that Emily shouted out Carson for his singing during their downtime in their dressing rooms? Let us know in the comments below. And come back here often for all your Days of Our Lives cast news and updates. Days of Our Lives, spoilers for the week of July 28th, suggest some curveballs. For one thing, Kat Green and Chad DiMera get stuck together. Some people doubt Susan Banks' new power. Also, Sarah Horton Kyriakis confronts Sophia Choi. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with Sarah, who just learned about the baby being adopted from Brady Black. After hearing the story, Sarah's eyebrows raised. Then, she looked at Sophia's medical file, which showed she was expecting a boy, not a girl. Sarah will confront Sophia about her baby lie. The teenager is already panicked enough, so she will likely plead with the doctor not to share her secret. However, by the end of the week, Sarah confides in Brady. Whether it's about the baby or Xander Cook Kyriakis is anyone's guess, though. Over with Susan, She claims to have a new power. Before, Susan's visions were always mixed up, but usually had a grain of truth to them. Now, Susan is claiming that she knows more than people think. That is exactly what led to Susan confronting Gabby Hernandez. What is Susan up to? And she's not typically a liar. So, what is her goal in making up a new power? Does she think that will really clear Johnny DiMera? Maybe Susan is convinced someone is lying, and that's her way of tricking them into confessing. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for next week reveal that Julie Williams told Doug Williams III that nobody needs to know what he did. However, Julie could be forced to go back on her word if she gets questioned by the police. Julie never had proof that the necklace belonged to her, but Gwen Rischek von Leuschner has the bill of sale. So, when Julie starts gloating to Gwen, the tables could turn once again. Fans will also see Tony DiMera continue with his mission. E.J. DiMera is pitted against Belle Black. Chad and Kat end up stuck together. Plus, Marlena Evans questions Rachel Black. Gabby hires Steve Johnson. Marlena opens up to Kayla Johnson. Alex Kyriakis tries to calm Stephanie Johnson. Plus, Holly Jonas bonds with Maggie Horton Kyriakis. While Xander dines with Gwen, expect Brady and Sarah to bond. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of July 28, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers suggest that something will happen to cause Marlena Evans to question Rachel Black about E.J. DiMera's shooting. Will E.J. point to Rachel because his memory of the shooting comes back? Or will there be another reason that Marlena has to question her granddaughter? Marlena recently hypnotized E.J. to see if he remembered who shot him. However, E.J. could not get past that block that keeps him from recalling the truth and clearing his son's name. E.J. is beginning to think that he cannot remember simply because Johnny DiMera was the one who shot him after all. However, Johnny swears he didn't. Marlena had offered to hypnotize E.J. again to see if he could remember, but she could not promise anything. In the meantime, Johnny's trial is moving forward, and E.J. will have to question his niece on the stand. Will Rachel say something that makes Marlena believe that Rachel knows more than she has said? A leak several months ago pointed at Rachel as the shooter. Rachel cannot remember past Johnny pointing a gun at E.J. Will Marlena question Rachel to try to bring back her memory of the event, since E.J. has blocked it from his memory to protect his niece? Will Rachel remember with some coaxing? It was suggested that Rachel had picked up the gun and shot E.J. after Johnny had left that night. Rachel was very upset with E.J. for getting rid of her grandmother, Rachel Blake, who could have E.J. put away for kidnapping Rafe Hernandez and Ava Vitale. Fans have wondered since the leak in February if Rachel was the shooter. After all, Rachel has seen both of her parents pointing a gun at each other. Rachel even called 911 on her father for pointing a gun at her mother at one time. Has Rachel learned from her parents that shooting someone is an acceptable behavior? Rachel had heard E.J. threaten her mother and her grandmother, and she could have just wanted him to stop. Did Rachel point the gun at E.J., attempting to make him promise not to go after her mother or grandmother again? Could the gun have accidentally gone off? Or did Rachel pull the trigger because E.J. threatened her loved ones? When will the truth come out? Strange vibes, dreams, and theories are making the rounds in Salem, according to the Days of Our Lives spoilers. A few women appear to be at the center of trouble, while Rafe brings up a character from the past and Susan warns of impending danger. Here's your day's video preview for the week of July 28th to August 1st, 2025. Susan's powers take center stage during a conversation between two brothers. Mother fancies herself a medium, E.J. tells Chad. "You talk to the dead?" asks a curious Chad. "I sure do," retorts Susan. Marlena opens up to Kayla about something concerning. "I had a dream about being the queen of the night," she reveals, reflecting on a dangerous time in her past when she was controlled by the late Stefano DiMera. Sarah opens up to Maggie about the state of her relationship. "Xander and I made a decision about our marriage," she tells her mother. Namely, that the estranged couple has decided to legally separate despite their deep love for one another. Later, Xander is with Gwen at the Horton Square, when he sees something that clearly bothers him. Sarah receiving a warm hug from Brady. The look on Xander's face conveys a man with some serious feelings for his estranged wife. Steve uncovers something troubling. "I stumbled on something that could affect Stephanie," he reveals to his wife. Kayla seems genuinely concerned about her daughter. "How bad is it?" she asks Steve. Across town, Gabby meets with Tony to discuss their plan to get Dimera Enterprises back. "We fight fire with fire," suggests Gabby. Tony takes things up a notch. "We fight fire with arson," he responds. And that's only the beginning. As Susan looks up at the portrait of Stefano hanging in the Dimera mansion, Rafe tells Kat, "There's a reason Stefano is known as the Phoenix." Meanwhile, Susan issues a warning about something to EJ. "That is very, very bad," she announces to her son, and Marlena tells Kayla something that worries both of them. "She said that I was ill, body, mind, and soul," says Marlena. It appears that the widowed Marlena is headed for some troubling times. Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for the July 28th, 2025 episode tease a new endeavor for a grieving Julie. It looks like Julie is taking a trip to Hourglass Bookstore, where she'll meet a mystery man. When Julie meets Foster, she'll find out that Salem's local bookstore is for sale. Meanwhile, it looks like Marlena is back to work, where she'll run into Kayla. It's all about the Dimeras this week on Days of Our Lives. This week's 3 major moments to look out for in Salem all involve a Dimera. Johnny's trial is already off to a rocky start. After Marlena collapsed, the trial was put on hold for her to seek medical attention. But this week, everyone will make their way back to court to decide whether Johnny is innocent or guilty of shooting his father. Everyone is certain of Johnny's innocence, but EJ's inability to remember is standing in the way. That, and video evidence that Johnny was at the mansion with a gun the night of the shooting. Look for EJ and Belle to be at odds as Johnny's attorney goes against the DA. Ever since Xander and Philip took over Dimera Enterprises and merged the rival company with their own, every Dimera has been far too busy to take on the task of regaining the company. EJ has been recovering from his shooting and securing ownership of the hospital. Kristen has been focused on protecting her daughter, and Chad wants nothing to do with his family's business. There's Stefan was, of course, but he's being held captive by Vivian. So that only leaves one Dimera to take the reins, and the week will kick off with Tony working to reclaim the company that is rightfully his. Susan has always been known for her psychic powers, and typically uses them for good versus evil. But later this week, she'll demonstrate a new power that has EJ and Chad questioning everything. What will this power be, and could it help Johnny's case? Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, July 28th, 2025. Marlena was sure that her dizziness and fainting spells had been a result of her not taking care of herself after John's death. Sarah has been more concerned than Marlena, but now that Marlena has had that odd dream, she wonders if something else might be going on. The Queen of the Night seems to be making a return to her life after all these years, at least in Marlena's dreams, which is where it all started the last time around. With Susan getting weird vibes when she hugs Marlena, she feels she has to confide in someone. Marlena tells Kayla her concerns. She doesn't like Susan's latest feeling that Marlena is not well in her body, mind, and soul. What if Stefano's spirit is out there somewhere, trying to take over? Somehow, Stefano always finds a way back into their lives, even from alleged graves. After all, Kayla was forced to be married to a computer chip version of Stefano a few years back. The first Dimera to ever set foot in Salem was Count Anthony Dimera, who arrived to reclaim his wife, Liz Chandler. Through the years, Tony died and returned to life multiple times and became a respectable member of Salem society along the way. Now, he is the one Dimera with a singular focus, getting their company back from the Kyriakis clan. To that end, he enlists Gabi to help him, a woman who was once a Kyriakis by marriage and still works for the newly merged company. Gabi wants to fight fire with fire, but Tony is ready to fight fire with arson. What is his plan, and does it have anything to do with why Gabi suddenly hires Steve? Is she trying to find Stefan? Could he be the key to conquering Titan and getting Dimera Enterprises back in the family's hands? Where is Vivian with answers when you need her? Daytime is serving up another wild ride, and the drama from July 28th, August 1st, promises to deliver big. With jaw-dropping reveals, explosive secrets, and high-stakes chaos, the soaps are heating up fast. Here's what has us counting down the moments this week. Oh, Leslie, how you always show up at the wrong place at the wrong time to talk to the wrong person. This week, she approaches a furious Ted and asks him for a rather shady favor. Ted is in a mood and may not want to put up with Leslie's shenanigans in this moment. Will Leslie back off? No, absolutely not. This is a woman who wants what she wants and isn't going to let a little tantrum get in her way of her grand plans. It's time to show off those vocal talents for the articulates. The ladies ready themselves for their big reunion concert, and the anticipation is electric. This could very well be a make-it-or-break-it moment for the songstresses, and the stress levels are sky-high. Will this show go off without a hitch, or will it all fall apart in true sudsy fashion? Lights, camera, fashion! It's a week all about the Italian adventures of Brooke, Ridge, and Eric as they put the new Capril line on the runway. Expect one of the most stunning fashion shows in B&B history. And yes, there will be drama. So much drama, especially with Nick lurking about. Obviously, this trip will be about way more than just presenting the new line. This week could change everything for Brooke. She's heading overseas with the full intent of chasing her destiny, but that's easier said than done. Plus, with Nick vying for her heart, anything can happen. The captain is kicking his efforts into high gear, and Brooke may not be able to resist his charms for very much longer. Sophia is feeling the heat as her web of lies begins to unravel. Sarah is onto her, and the good doctor starts asking serious questions. How is it that Sophia put a little girl up for adoption when her baby was a boy? That doesn't seem right. Sophia better have her story straight, because one slip up and it will be game over. As Johnny's trial gets underway, the courtroom action heats up. Johnny is desperate to clear his name and put this whole mess behind him. But will he get his wish? Things doesn't always pan out for innocent Salemites who go before a judge. Unfortunately, if he can't prove his innocence, he could be facing some serious prison time. Wedding bells are ringing, but will we end up with a happy couple by the end of the day? Or is this ceremony about to go completely sideways? If soap history shows us anything, it's all secrets always come out at the altar. Willow knows Drew's dirty little secret, and now would be a great time to use it. Speaking of exposing secrets, Jason is on to Britt, and he's determined to get answers as to how his former flame is still alive. And, if he can't get them from her, he wants them from her mother. Jason approaches Obrecht and starts asking all the tough questions. Remember how Kyle managed to pry himself away from Audra's luscious lips and tell her off? Yeah, that was great. But he may not have the willpower to cut her off this week. Those sparks between them are igniting again this week, and Kyle might just find himself in some very hot water.